Hello and welcome to this special broadcast with me, Ashmit Kumar, right here on CNBC TV18. Now, over the last 18 to 24 months, we've seen a bitter dispute play out in the public. That's between REL, the current existing management, and of course, the Burman family. Now, in the midst of this dispute, fierce, serious allegations of corporate governance norms, corporate governance breach have been leveled by both the sides, one against the other. We're trying to understand more, trying to uncover this issue, and to help us do that is none other than Dr. Saluja, the Executive Chairperson of Religare Enterprises. Dr. Saluja, it's a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for taking our time, for addressing what is clearly a bitter, a complicated issue as well. We were just discussing moments back. But before we get into the details, the fine print, let me begin by asking you that my colleagues who work with you very closely, we of course have been following you very closely for very many years. You come across as someone who's media shy. Yet you're taking this opportunity to speak to us. So let me begin by asking you, why now?
You know, Ashmit, it is actually when your work speaks, and that is how you know me, and you know Religare because of the turnaround story. Religare had many phases before. It had a Singh Brothers phase, then it had us, and then now it is, as you say, is a battle-drawn kind of a situation. You generally only speak when there is a reason where your actions, which you've done extremely good, the hard work that you have put on, is actually taken a back seat. And then certain other things which need not to be discussed or talked about. So at times, you know, you have to make certain clarification. And that's the reason, unfortunately, not here to talk good about myself or the work that the whole management has done, that spoke. And the reason when we did such a great work, and maybe that's the reason why people got interested in taking or acquiring the company. So I'm not too sure doing a good work is a good idea or not, but definitely very challenging. So that's the reason I thought that it's time that a lot of allegations that you've been hearing about, or I'm hearing about, it is totally unsubstantiated, and maybe you would like to know it more closely.
Absolutely. Let's in fact dive straight in. One aspect that made headlines a couple of days back has been the ED FIR. What the ED, broadly, for the benefit of our viewers, if I can just summarize what it says, is that there's one gentleman by the name of Vaibhav Goli, that he acted at your behest, is what the ED says, that he went ahead, he filed an FIR against the Burman family, making allegations, but he was acting on your instructions. The ED says that his actions were motivated, were done at your instructions, that he got some 65,000 rupees from you for filing that FIR. And finally, the ED concludes by saying that it's being done to obfuscate, quote unquote, obfuscate the detection of illegal gains via ESOPs. How would you respond to these charges?
When was this FIR filed?
We've come to know about it only more recently.
But I'm sure you must have done your own digging. When was this FIR filed?
It goes back a long time, so that's the question that's...
So, first of all, this matter is sub judice, in the sense it is in the court or it is with the ED, and investigations are going to be there. I'll be very happy if the investigations will, of course, the truth will prevail upon it. We have no motive to do it. We have already spoken, and we have given the clarification in the stock exchanges that it has got nothing to do with me or any of our employees at all. And we will cooperate fully to actually get the truth out. But as I read of the FIR, it was done in November, and the open offer had come in September. And there was already a committee of independent directors in October, where whatever the addresses and the concerns were there, they were already addressed. So there is actually no motive behind it. And that's something which is a matter of complete surprise to us. And we have already spoken about it in the all the legitimate areas where we need to. And as and when, wherever there is going to be an investigation, we will fully cooperate and we will ensure that the truth prevails on it.
Let's begin by asking some of the aspects. You're correct, it goes back all the way to November 2023. So let me begin by asking you a supplementary question. Why do you think it's coming to attention now? And how would you respond to some of the concerns raised, especially on the ESOP front, saying that what the ED is saying, the long and short, is that you, as the executive chairperson of REL, you're giving yourself those ESOPs and therefore pointing at what the ED believes is an obvious case of conflict.
So I'm not going to be commenting on how ED is thinking about it or what they are going to, they have said. I will tell you as a corporate how the ESOPs, what are the ESOPs? It is basically an incentivization to the employees. Is it the first ever any corporate people or the employees have got the ESOP? When and how the incentivization of the ESOPs take place? When I joined the company, the share price was close to 17 bucks, right? And as it is, did I get ESOP after the open offer? Did I get ESOP after September? Did any of the employee, did they get ESOP after in REL? No. All those ESOPs that we are talking about until now have already been given, distributed only as per the company policies. Those company policies which have been around, which have been, revising as per the requirement always. So this is something which is done for any company to incentivize all the employees, and that is how it has been given not only to me but all to REL employees, to the subsidiary employees. The monies, in fact, where it has been exercised, the monies have come to the company for the growth of the company. So we are as much, we participate in the growth of the company by putting our own money, which generally the excise value comes after a complete, formula, how it is done, what it is done. So there is nothing, in fact, I really feel that by this particular instance or incident, the corporates should not be taken aback that, your salary, your hard work should not be questioned in a way that I'm not talking about ED, but before the ED I was talking about the acquirers. Did acquirer talk about it? Why are they here talking about my ESOPs today, or my employees' ESOPs, or our colleagues' ESOP today? In fact, nothing has happened after the open offer. It has all been done before the open offer, 6 years. And they have voted. REL is a listed company. Nothing can happen without an AGM. Nothing can happen. Every time the proposed acquirers voted for it. I'm very thankful about it because they realized our good work. Every shareholder realized the good work, and that good work was incentivized and rewarded. Also at the time when nobody was ready to touch this company at all, 6 years, all the employees stuck to it. They completely turned around the company. And I really thought they turned around the company, they got the incentives for it, they put their own money for actually exercising, and then they put it back in the company. I thought it's a fantastic story. You please tell me which startups wouldn't incentivize, which company which is on a default will not incentivize, and which are the other bigger companies, the CEOs or other managements.
There are 4 board members of CHIL, that's Lieutenant General S.S. Mehta, Sunish Sharma, Kartikeya Dhruv Kaji, as well as Mr. C.M. Minoka, who had raised similar concerns about wanting to seek the IRDAI nod, even at the second time when the ESOPs were issued to you only as the executive chairperson of REL. Is that something that perhaps you should have taken note of back then?
No, so it was a very, let me tell you one thing. The whole thing, if you look at the board, the whole noting was done only and only after extreme deliberation. It was nothing out of, nothing was done. They wanted an opinion. The opinion was sought after only and only after the opinion was sought after. It was deliberated again in the board and in the NRC, and it was totally, let me tell you one thing, all the deliberations that took place.
But 4 board members didn't agree with that.
They did agree. And if you look at, and I'm sure at the right places, the board minutes have gone. And I'm again telling you one thing, it was only and only after the full consensus of the board this has happened. I was not part of it, but it
you recused yourself.
I had recused myself from the proceeding. Fortunately, it is a very, very democratic board. Not only that, all the boards in the organization are very, very democratic. And everything was talked, discussed, and only after the complete consensus of the board, it only took place. And
what you're telling us is that minus you from the board, all the board members of CHIL were in agreement regarding.
They were in agreement. They agreed with the opinions that were taken, and they agreed with the opinion that were deliberated. And of course, like, we have to look into and ensure, we did not know that open offer is going to come. We did not know it will be hostile. We did not know anything negative is going to come through. So the deliberation happens not only in this matter. As I was just mentioning, that's a very democratic board. We discuss on everything, every issue that we discuss. And let me tell you also one thing. the reason why the board cancelled the ESOPs after the first IRD rejection was only because that was the right thing to have done. And then subsequent to that, after the deliberation and thought after, by taking the, and please, I would also be, it wasn't just for the heck of taking an opinion. That opinion was taken by very, very pertinent members of these, you know, who understand law very well.
So Datta, senior advocate, Mr. Narayan, of course, former chairman, IRD.
So if I'm sure, like, they would have given this opinion in complete earnestness, which we totally believe into it.
Let's talk about the total estimates of the ESOPs. The market participants that we speak to tell us that the total ESOPs coming your way are somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 to 700 crore rupees.
I wish I was as rich as that.
The question I want to pose to you is, with a pay packet like that, puts you right at the top of the highest paid executives in the country. People are now beginning to ask questions that, is this pay packet justified? Just your take on that.
First of all, whatever you are saying is something which is, do you realize one thing, how for any employee the ESOPs come through? How do we get into it? Whatever the amount of ESOP is, one, the value is, you know, unfortunately, we're only talking about the ESOP that I have got. You're not talking about, because this is something which you're talking about, care ESOPs. Care ESOPs, 12.5% has gone to all the employees. That is not a matter of discussion, very happy that I am about. But you are more concerned about my ESOPs. But again,
Not me, market participants. I'm just a mediator.
Through you. So I'm very happy that this is what you're talking about. One is that, is it rightfully given? Is the price right? How did I exercise these ESOPs? What is my source of funding? My source of funding is that I borrow the money and I take the loan from the appropriate sources. I put the money in the company for the growth of the company, as much as all the other employees have done the same. And the other thing is that I give the tax to the government. That is it. The only thing is, I did not realize that I would ever be talked about so much. Having said that, and now that I am being talked about so much, tell me one thing. Is the incentivization that was done to all the employees before the open offer was a point of discussion ever? Never. Why is that everything that you're talking about, or the market speculation is talking about, is happening post-September, October 23? Why haven't you asked me a single question that why is and how good is the company functioning till now? What is the growth of the company? Why are people so incentivized? What is the value of the company? Why I'm very happy, that's exactly what I'm saying. Were you, or I would have been very happy that I would have got a fixed pay package, and I would, whether the company would have gone to NCLT like so many companies when this company actually got into it. Did you ever ask that what risk did I carry? My CIBIL was attached and all those things. Did anybody ask that why did not a single board member who were part of you know, great governance practices ever wanted to come on the board? I and all the management have worked 18 to 20 hours a day. You've turned around the company. And today, rather than actually the whole concept that our Prime Minister is wanting to have a couple of thousands of more Tatas, Birlas, Ambanis and Adanis, and here you are basically trying to bog down a person who has done it along with the whole team with a good governance. This is the most bizarre thing, that something which was extremely beautifully created, where the country is being talked about, the whole international market is talking about great story of turning around. What I'm discussing with you is justifying my being here. And also, unfortunately, a lot of people have lost their dignity and respect, how they should be even talking and discussing and referring to a women entrepreneur. The way I have been now being addressed is that woman, that lady. Is this how you should be actually thinking about where are these questions? Nobody's challenging these questions.